Shan. Bumblebee. Shan look like Bumblebee today. I like the tennis shoes, Shan. Give me a state rep song. Yep.
Council on Aging. Council on Aging.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition. Come on, mic up to the Lotus Zone Radio Show. Welcome to the Lotus Zone. It's Technology Tuesday. Listen, we got a good show today. But just remember, this show is to educate, enlighten, and engage the seniors and their caregivers. And as you know, we are still in our candidate series. And the candidate series is sponsored by the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging Senior Advisory Board. Mr. Mitchell and Miss Barbara Berry, now, all of them on their advisory board. And they wanted to do this candidate forum to make sure that they can make an informed decision when they get ready to go to the polls. This is how we're doing it for COVID. So we have invited all the candidates in the mayor's race, in the metropolitan race, and the local judiciary candidates to come on this Lotus Zone radio show and engage the seniors. Now, just a placeholder. If you haven't seen a candidate that you're interested in, it's not because we didn't invite them. They chose not to come. All right. Each candidate will be asked a series of different questions submitted by the seniors from various senior centers and on Facebook and on the radio. And some of these questions were collected during lunch, picked up at the various locations. Each candidate segment will be given 15 to 30 to 45 minutes. And we got our state rep mayoral candidate today, C. Denise Marcel, and our vice chairman, who was our former treasurer. And we're going to give her a good 45 today. Because, look, we're going to let her go first today because she got to go on the TV. Anyway, we're going to ask her that our preference is that each candidate refrain from making personal attacks against their opposition. And we prefer that each candidate stick to the topic. Today's show, of course, is sponsored by Care South, First Financial, and People's Health. So let's give it up for our mayoral candidate, our vice chairwoman, state representative, C. Denise, or if you know her like I do, Niecy from the park is here with us today. Like my mom would call her Niecy. Hey, Niecy.
Hi there. What's going on, Tasha?
All right, go and tell us something about yourself.
Tasha.
Why you?
Well, okay.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Why?
I had a flashback.
You had a
I'm sorry.
flashback. Okay, so your first 2 minutes, tell us all about yourself, why you decided to run for mayor, what you're going to do. Go ahead. You got 2 minutes to do that.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the Council on Aging, Lotus Zone, for inviting me here. This is the first opportunity that I've had to actually be on the show, right?
There she is. There she
yes,
goes.
I'm just saying.
It's
I'm just
Petty
saying.
Tuesday.
I'm just saying it's Petty Tuesday. Most of you guys know me. I'm C. Denise Marcel. I'm currently a state representative, but former city council member, and I've worked in the capacity as a leader in this city for a number of years. I believe that I've shown the experience to lead people in this city, and not only in the city, but in the parish. And I kind of feel like I've been called upon inside of my district, outside of my district, in Baton Rouge, out of Baton Rouge, and why not lead Baton Rouge?
That's right.
And so many residents have called upon me and asked me to run for mayor, and that's why I'm running. But not only that, I think I can make a difference. I believe that I can do some great things for this city parish government.
And so what are some of the things that you want to do?
Well, I want to continue the work that I've already started on the city council. I've done a number of things. I did ban the box for the city parish. I did ban the box for the state. And so I've done a plethora of things, not only—
She hit us with the plethora. Go ahead.
not only for citizens, but for people throughout the state. If some of you may know, I sponsored the legislation that actually helped seniors at the state capitol. When I got there, I realized that there was nothing in place in order for you to pay a fine by payments, right? So what was there is you had to pay all or nothing. And I don't know how many, not only seniors, how many citizens that have $600, $700, $2,000. There were others with $3,000 and $4,000 worth of fines from OMV that they were unable to get their license back to either get to work.
They call that payment plan Denise.
Payment plan Denise.
They offered it to me for my daughter red light tickets, but I don't even want to go there buy her red light tickets. But they got a payment plan for those.
You need to just pay that off. But at any rate, I sponsored that legislation. That helped many people throughout the state of Louisiana. I get calls all the time. I don't know if it was a good thing or not, because they call me from Lafayette, New Orleans, anywhere, whenever there's a problem with their driver's license. There is some work still needs to be done on that legislation, but there is a payment plan in place for seniors and for everyone. You know, sometimes we have seniors that have stopped driving and for whatever reason, and they're on a limited budget.
Right.
And so those seniors may have to choose this month whether they get their medication or whether they pay their car insurance.
That's
and
right.
so when that lapses, what many people may not know who that has never happened to, you get charged every month, $60 per month.
Right.
Per day. I think it's per day. And so that can add up pretty swiftly when you have your insurance expire on you. So that's some of the legislation. Those are some of the things I've been doing. And of course, you know, I'm the vice chair of the board.
That's
so I
right.
love the seniors. Everybody knows I love the kids and the seniors. I believe everybody else in between can kind of take care of themselves.
And one thing I got to say about you, because you love the seniors, you always come and you show love no matter what we're doing at the Council on Aging. And because you knew it was Technology Tuesday, you came in seniors with She dropped us $5,000 today for Technology Tuesday. We're giving away 3 TVs from our state representative, C. Denise Marcel, and the tablets to go with it. So listen, we're going to call in, so you better be paying attention, answer some questions. State rep came in with $5,000.
You know, I like to put my money where my mouth is. A lot of people do a lot of talking, but, you know, they don't bring the meat to the table. I bring the meat and the bread.
And we got steak today. Today's meat is not the other white meat. We got some prime rib on the table today. We appreciate it. And Jill, we'll be sending you your letter. Thank you so much. Now we're going to get to the first question. First question is, what are your top 3 priorities for seniors in this parish if you are elected?
Well, you know, one of the things that I realized before I even started working with the Council on Aging was the shortage in housing.
Right.
We've got to figure out a way where we partner together and continue the great work of the Council on Aging. You know, I'm getting calls right now. How do you get on the waiting list for the new Lotus Village?
That's right.
We've got to not only create it there, I think we've got to create these types of villages throughout our parish. And when we do that, then that serves as an incubator for seniors.
Right.
So seniors have everything that they need in there. That cuts down on them being targeted for crime because they have their own community, they have their own store there, they have their own washing facility. Everything is right there.
Transportation.
And so the transportation, I want to put these types of facilities all over this parish.
So you're going to bring us some more money is what you're saying?
Absolutely. I'm going to do what I can to not only work with the budget that the Council on Aging has in place, but certainly there are always federal and state dollars that we could pull down in order to help to do these projects. Public partner, private partnerships are always good. And I think that together we can make this parish greater for seniors. And when we do that for seniors, I mean, I think that fixes a lot of the other issues that they face, whether that's not having the fresh vegetables. And, you know, I'm a part of that. I've been delivering fresh vegetables all week long. If I see another onion, I think I'll cry. But I've been delivering fresh vegetables because that is a part of the healthy initiative that I believe that they need, and they're lacking in many of our neighborhoods throughout this parish. And I want to continue those types of services to our seniors.
And so to piggyback off of that, we do have some food deserts within our parish. What are your plans as it relates to attacking the food deserts if elected? What would you do differently to make sure that the resources get to those different areas of the parish?
Well, one of the things we have to do in this parish is we have to incentivize people to come into those areas. You know, people are not just going to bag up and say, hey, I'm going to build this wonderful facility in North Baton Rouge when the crime is high. So we've got to attack the crime. We've got to attack the underlying issues that causes, the systemic issues that causes the crime in the first place in order to attract them. But not only attracting them, but when they come into these areas that we want them to develop, whether it's grocery stores or what have you, we, as a city parish government, in my administration, a lot of these fees that you pay, like the $65,000 that we paid over here at Council on Aging,
Yes.
to the city for those impact fees.
Yes.
We need to figure out a way to waive those when people are coming in to do something for our neighborhoods that we want done.
Right.
And so that makes the deal that much sweeter for a developer if they're coming in, the traffic impact fees and the sewage impact fees. Now, I know some will say that cost goes on to the contractor, but guess what? It's going to come back on to the project. Eventually, it's a part of the project. I think we have to incentivize people, give them tax incentives. We have to utilize properties that are already in our communities, like this facility.
That's right.
That William
The
Davis
Lotus Center.
the Lotus Center that they at one point they were talking about tearing down.
That's right.
And look what we've done with it.
That's
because
right.
you have to have a vision. Where there's no vision, the people perish.
All right. So here's another question. Studies have shown that poverty influences crime rates by perpetuating a lack of resources. Crime can be linked to mental illness and homelessness. Many mayors have struggled with addressing these questions. The question is, how will you plan to further address homelessness and poverty in our city?
Well, first of all, I know that a lot of the homeless people are transit, so they come from other places.
This is true.
But one of the things that if elected mayor president that I will not do is, fence off an area where the homeless people are. I actually believe that communicating with them, going out with mental health specialists, talking to these people, setting up special places for them to go and get the wraparound services that they need. And I understand that there is a new program that recently started, but there are so many restrictions on who can come into where they are at the hotel and who can't come. So the question becomes, how efficient is that? I would like to look at that program and see how I could better utilize that in terms of homelessness. And certainly the other part of that question was poverty.
Right.
So when you talk about poverty, you've got to look at the systemic causes. It's lack of education. Everybody know that.
Right.
That's the basis of it, and we've got to figure out how to do programs to help our children at the bottom. It's not going to happen overnight. One of the programs that we're now doing with the Council on Aging, as you know, the
Right.
Intergenerational Center.
That's right. I
where
can't wait.
The Intergenerational Center.
That's it.
That's my pet
That's
project.
your pet project.
My pet project.
As a board member, that's right.
38th Street and Gus Young. I've been
We
working
working
on
on
it
it.
since I was on the Metro Council.
That's right.
And sometimes these things take a while. But
Right.
when you see something like this come into fruition, when you can partner with other people, we need to utilize LSU and Southern University. We have two beautiful universities in our HBCU
That's right.
and Flag University in our city.
That's
and I
right.
think that we underutilize them when it comes to doing
Community
those
projects.
community projects for our kids.
Right.
Because if you don't lift the kids up, you got to start at the bottom.
Right.
You got to start at the bottom. And there has to be some programs working with kids starting in even middle school.
Right.
I think that's important so that we can even give them some build projects. Let's just talk about if there's a blighted piece of property and we train a child, I'm saying a child, but a young person,
Yeah.
how to do carpentry work.
Right.
And then they get to be a part of that project. They
Right.
get to, instead of seeing things torn down, then they can be a part of something being built up.
And since
But
you-
we got to train them.
Since you mentioned blight, that was one of the key questions that a lot of the seniors have been asking. It's been a habit of the city to tear down, blighted property, but we're not putting anything back in on the lots that are left. If elected, what would your plan be? One, to eradicate the blight. Two, to revive those communities in all districts.
That's a great question. For one, I would do what I did with this building and the building on 38th Street, which was a fire station.
Drive me crazy, you mean?
No, not drive me
all
crazy.
right.
But these types of buildings where they were looking to tear both buildings down,
Right.
we've got to find usages for these buildings that fit the community, right? And so when we do that, I would say having those types of program on steroids, right? So we did it over here. Why couldn't we do it in Scotlandville? Why couldn't we do it in Zachary? Why couldn't we do it in all of the areas that we suffer, South Baton Rouge? There are so many buildings that we tear down. And when I came into office, I remember them saying, well, you know, I tore down X number of houses. But what that left me with was thousands of empty lots that nobody could maintain. And so people don't understand when they call me and say, I want this house torn down, when I was a council person. And I say to them, is a house salvageable? Can we do something? And before this Office of Community Development, as I knew it when I was there, left, that was one of the projects we talked about doing. Building those houses back up and putting families back in them with CDBG block funds. But that program is no longer in existence. Maybe there's something else that we can do, put a program such as that back into the mayor's office.
All right. Ms. Rose Doolittle is a senior at the Baker Senior Center. She wants to know, what can and will you do to help improve equitable employment and public transportation?
Well, equitable employment, first of all, we've got to raise the minimum wages.
Now you're talking.
Because let me say this, not only seniors, but people need to make a living wages. And so when you talk about equitable employment, you talk about a living wage. So we've got to increase that. One of the things that we need to do in the city parish is certainly raise the wages, figure out a way to do that. And then the other part of her question was?
The other part of her question was, I put it down, was, that's it. That was it. No, transportation.
Transportation.
Right.
Okay, so transportation.
Thank you.
I believe that
Public transportation.
Public transportation.
That's it.
I believe that, one, we've got to be innovative. We've got to figure out. We had bus rapid transportation, right? That we had since 10, I think about 10 years, but we've done nothing with it. So what we need to do is create a bus line between the universities to go downtown and then go straight up Florida Boulevard. We need to incentivize, give some kind of tax incentives for people parking their cars and carpooling. And when you do that, then you can I
don't know if I want to ride with no strange people. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, when we go to other cities,
it's a pandemic going on.
When we go to other cities, when we go to the largest cities,
that's what they do.
That's what they do.
You
in
ride
DC,
with them?
you got to ride with them because that's the only mode of transportation, unless you want to be bumper to bumper.
Well,
and in Chicago, you definitely gonna ride with them.
Well, you know, I'm big fine. They might try to take me.
Oh, but transportation is something that we've got to figure out a way to fix. And bus rapid transit is BRT is one way that I would look at fixing that.
Okay.
And certainly increasing the ridership at CATS.
What about a train?
We need a train from here to New Orleans, definitely.
For sure. When I lived in DFW, I took the train. I loved it. All right, Miss Claudia Fisher. She goes to the Cheneyville Community Center. She says that she lives in District 1 Council District, and she wants to remind the council people and the mayor that Cheneyville and Pride are still a part of East Baton Rouge Parish. What are your plans for making sure these rural areas of the parish do not continue to go underserved? Hello?
Well, yes,
all
absolutely. Right. Because this is a unique...
Stop leaving out Cheneyville.
Right. This is a unique position, and you can't leave out any part of it. You've got to serve all of the parish. You got to, like she said, from Pride Port Hudson, and I know that's the end of it,
that's right,
all the way over to what they're calling St. George now and beyond. We've got to serve that area and everything in between.
Right.
I don't know what it is that they're lacking in Cheneyville, but one of the things what I would do is make it inclusive, to include them as a part of my conversations when I plan to put together a team to see what the need is in Cheneyville and Pride, Port Hudson area, what it is that they need to do, and certainly include them in all of the projects, and certainly the dollars, because that's where the rubber meets the road.
With the money.
You got to spend the dollars that's equitable for Cheneyville because they're paying taxes as well.
That's right. And since you mentioned it, you know, on one election night, my mama went to bed in Baton Rouge and she woke up in St. George. Now, this is what I want to know. And I have to go out there to St. George and visit. So my question is, what is your thoughts and take and plans for St. George if elected?
Well,
you gonna finish the lawsuit, or you gonna kick it down the here? What you gonna drop it? What you gonna do?
Let me say this: whatever the courts decide,
that's a hard question.
Whatever the courts decide,
now she's gonna be a lawyer now.
No, whatever the courts decide, I will abide by the court's ruling. What I believe
like
is let me say this.
All right,
my mother also lives in St. George,
yeah.
and so I believe that we've got to sit at the table with St. George if the courts rule in their favor and figure out what services they need to hold up their city, work with them in order to hold those services up because they are a part, just like the lady is talking about in Cheneyville.
Right.
They are a part of the parish. So you can't just say, okay, I didn't want St. George to create their own city, which I did not. But if that happens,
Tim is loving that. He's a Republican.
You still have to create the services that they not created, but help them to do it. And then when you do that, there are legacy costs that you got to sit at the table and talk about. Their bond issues. There are things that they're going to have to pay for so that the citizens of Baton Rouge are not paying for, because it's services that are projects that we've done in their particular city. We've got to sit at the table, figure out. But in terms of that lawsuit, certainly, I would not file another lawsuit.
Right.
I mean, the judge is going to make a judgment on whatever he deems as fair. And as I've said before, I think that we got it hindsight. I mean, backwards. In my opinion,
we put the cart before the horse.
I think we did, because I believe that the suit should have been filed prior to, when they were trying to form the city, to say that every citizen in this parish who had impacted should be included in the election, right? And so when that didn't happen, then it almost like, they voted to have something and we're trying to stop them from having it.
Gotcha. All right. The East Baton Rouge Council on Aging currently has a dedicated millage that you're very well aware of, tax that is utilized to provide much needed services to the seniors across the parish. What is your stance on the tax? Do you support it? If elected, will you continue to support it, or will you repeal it? Now, this better be the right answer.
I mean, who gave me that
Madam
question?
Vice Chair.
Okay. So as you guys know, prior to me ever getting on the board, I supported the Council on Aging. When they had crumbs and everybody said they should just close their doors.
That's right.
I supported the Council on Aging. When we were raffling off cars, and Miss Amar made me buy 10 books to sell, I supported the Council on Aging.
Right.
So certainly when the millage, I worked very hard on the streets to pass the millage.
Yes, you did.
I
held up signs.
Held up signs, went door to door, went on corners with seniors trying to get this millage passed, because I thought it was just that important that we take care of our most vulnerable population, the ones who have paved the way, the ones whose shoulders we stand on. I certainly support it. But not only that, Ms. Amar, but let me just remind you guys, when there was talk about taking the seniors tax or moving a part of that tax onto other things down at the Metro Council, I came and I stood at the mic.
Yes, you did.
I stood at
Several
the mic
times.
More than one time.
That's right.
And said that I wasn't having it, and I voiced my opinion. I didn't stay away.
Yes, you did.
I didn't send a letter.
No, you didn't.
I didn't send a balloon.
All right.
I came in person because that was important to me, and I'm very serious about that. Yeah. I think if you really support something,
that's right,
people ought not guess where you stand on something.
Ooh.
You ought to be fighting for it vigorously all the time, not when it's popular, not after it's passed, but continuously. And I will continue my support for the seniors of this parish.
Oh, she said a speech right there.
All 23 of our new locations.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Cities across the country have allocated resources for senior homeowners, for senior home repair programs, with priority placed upon reviving blighted areas of the city, which also address emergencies, ordinance, and code violations that pose a threat to their health and safety or affect the livability of their home. The question is, do you have a plan to bring back senior assistance and home repair programs like we used to have back in the day, like the weatherization program and all
Well,
of
ma'am,
that?
I just talked about that before you got to the question, and that was the CDBG funds that I talked about, the Office of Community Development. The Office of Community Development had a system in place whereby people, now, no doubt, there was a long line, and some people died while they were on the list.
They did. I recall doing houses with you back in the day at the MLK Center.
Yeah, I was about
we
to
did
say.
a whole block of houses, like
So
one
we
whole
ended
neighborhood
up,
street.
going out doing public private partnerships
Mm-hmm.
with individuals, whether they were construction companies or whatever, and helped them to lift up those particular areas because they were backed up.
Right.
But now, as I understand it, that program no longer exists. I intend to make sure that there are dollars set aside from CDBG funds, from housing projects, not for them to compete with everybody else, but a set aside dollars for senior housing and weatherization,
And-
because we cannot leave them
That's right.
in elements like rain. And I know that the other day
Holes in
people
the
are
roof.
calling me saying that they had buckets in their houses
Right.
and roof leaking, and we cannot leave them on those lists forever. So I would love to set up a program.
And if you
for
bring that program back, will you commit that the seniors of the Council on Aging will get priority? That's just my question.
No, ma'am, I will not. I will ask all of my listening audience to join the Council on Aging. That way, we can take care of everybody. But I mean, it has to be something put into place for those people who've paved the way for us and who are
That's
now maybe up in age and trying to figure out whether or not they buy their medication or
Repair their home.
they can't repair their homes. In
That's
many
right.
instances, the cost of repairing homes is just, I can't do some of the repairs at my house. So I know the seniors are having problems, and I certainly want to be a part of that solution.
All right, Ms. Joyce Hawkins, we're going to talk about the main issue that the seniors have. We've talked about their housing issues, but this is most of the questions kind of wrapped up. Ms. Joyce Hawkins, she's from the Baker Center. She said yesterday on, I think it's Chimman Drive, they had a whole shootout. These young people don't live in our neighborhood. They're gathering in our overflow parking area to do their drug exchanges or whatever. This is her question. Do their drug exchanges or whatever. What can you do or what can we do to help keep these young people from congregating in our overflow parking area, shooting up the neighborhood?
Well, one of the things you got to
What can we do with this crime?
We got to be able to channel the young people's energy somewhere other than crime.
Right.
Baton Rouge has a city that's with young people that feels a hopelessness.
Yes.
And when you have a people that feels like they're hopeless, then they turn to crime. So we've got to address that issue. But short of that, more importantly, I think the answer that she's looking for that will also be a part of my plan is that I will certainly not allow people to go into these areas and go unchecked, right?
Right.
For instance, I got some calls the other night about a party that was late night, all night by seniors' homes. They were calling me. It was nowhere near my district, but they had no one else to call, and they wanted it shut down.
Right.
And I think we have to address this. We cannot go about our business like seniors don't live there. They don't have any rights to say something about loud music or about these types. They deserve to be sleep at a certain time, and we can't disturb their peace. And so we must we have ordinances on the book. But we have to send the police out to actually do the job.
right.
So I'll do the job if you elect me to be your mayor. I'll make sure that happens.
We have a Facebook or internet question. Let's have it, Angel.
Yes, we have a question from Miss Evelyn Edwards.
Miss
at the
Edwards.
Charles Kelly Center.
Charles R. Kelly Center.
What could you offer the voters in a mayoral position that you cannot offer the public in your current state rep position?
She said, what can you offer the voters in a mayoral position that you cannot offer them in your state rep position? Now, that's a good question.
Well, for one, your state representative seat, I work along with the state in order to write laws for the state as a whole and the budget for the state. In the mayoral position, I have a hands-on approach for crime. I would be responsible for crime, for development of the areas that we talked about in North Baton Rouge. I would be responsible for making sure that we have a culture that work together, right? And I would be responsible for an administration that has transparency so that you would know where your dollars is going. And when I say that, let me just add that when I was on the council, we sponsored a legislation, DBE policy for women-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses for 25%. We now have $1 billion budget in the city of Baton Rouge, and DBEs are receiving less than 1% of the budget. I would make sure that that would be changed. I wouldn't study it to death. I would enact it. I would implement it, and I would make sure that small businesses got their fair share in Baton Rouge, because that's what makes the city thrive. When you have small businesses, and we can't have businesses just coming in from everywhere else making dollars and taking the money back out of our parish.
Right.
And so when you want your city to grow, you got to sow into your city. And that's what I can do as your mayor president, which I have no control over as your state rep.
Okay, you got another question, Angela?
I do. Ms.
Okay, we can hear it.
Betts from our Baker Center.
Miss Betts from Baker, all right?
Why do you think that the 70805 area is targeted by the police for minor traffic citations, but when a serious crime occurs, there are no officer present? How do
Ooh.
you plan to improve crime in our area?
70805.
So,
They targeted for minor crimes, but nothing happening for major stuff.
well, you know, that goes back
Thank
to...
you, Miss Betts.
Thank you, Ms. Betts. Yes, that goes back to community policing, right? Instead of pulling people over for minor violations, I think those interactions ought to be positive. I think police should be getting out of their cars, meeting the people in their areas. So I will have a strong presence of community policing, not only in 70805, but in 70802 and 70806. Those are areas that I believe have to have that type of policing done in it, right? And so when you say that, you don't want, there's no trust between the police and the community. And so when a crime happens, if you don't have a community policing effort in place, and there's a trust, guess what? Nobody's going to tell you who committed the crime. When you create that type of atmosphere between the police and the community, you have a better outcome and less traffic tickets and less fines for small misdemeanor things that keep our courts tied up. So yes, I will target those types of things with community policing and certainly de-escalation with the police, and make sure that we have the type of atmosphere that we are paying for, which is public safety. And so that has to be on the minds of the police as well. And so you can't attract great policemen without paying them a fair wages. And I believe their salary starts at like $32,000. So we need to look at that as well. It's not a one size fit all. There's a series of things that need to happen in order for that to happen, and I'll be willing to work on that.
And in your platform, have you determined where those fair wages will come from? Because I've been reading some of the articles in the paper that's coming out on each of the mayoral candidates, and one of the other candidates has determined that infrastructure and maybe some policing extra funds will come from removing the millage from the Council on Aging. So I just want to make sure you're not going down the same vein as Mr. Carter himself.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I think we've got to look at all the departments. One of the first things I'll do in my 90 days is go in and look at all the departments, see where we are, see if there's any surplus in any areas, and see can we combine some things to make sure that we're putting our money where the buck gets the best bang.
Okay.
Got to do that. We're certainly in a global pandemic, and we're not certain of what our funds are going to look like next year.
Especially when you mix the flu, it's on its way with the global pandemic.
Absolutely. And so we've got to take those things into consideration. And so as it's available, I will certainly look through all of the city parish dollars, work with the state, pull down funds when I can to make sure that the police and the firefighters, because we always talk about the police, but we never talk about the frontline firefighters, and they are first responders as well. They're some of the first people you see if your property is on fire, number one, or if you're having an emergency situation. Sometimes they get there before the police or before the ambulance. So we got to talk about our first responders in a hold, and not just the police. And I think that all of them
And
deserve
do you think
a
that
raise.
the police should be like, I've been reading about this concept of social workers joining with the police when there's some mental health issues or mental health calls. You think that's a great idea, or you think that's something you might consider implementing?
I think that we have to, and when they talk about defunding the police,
Right.
I don't want to defund the police.
You wanna reform.
The question is, what do we do to better utilize the police department? And sometimes that can be personnel in the police department that's not an actual officer, right? And so they can have that experience, that counseling for homeless people, for people with drug addictions, for people with mental health issues. And if I ride around my community, I know my community. Now,
Yes, you
somebody probably may not know theirs, but I know my community. I'm just saying, a lot of people are not that intertwined with their community, but I am. So I know where all the homeless people are. Matter of fact, the homeless people know me by name because I do go down and feed them. And so they'll say, hey, there comes Miss Denise. Well, I know when I see them, who's off their meds, you can tell by the interactions with them. So you can call the proper person to assist those people.
Right.
Instead of having them handcuffed, you need to make sure that they get to the proper place so that they can get treated, whether that's mental health,
Substance abuse.
homelessness, or substance abuse.
Right.
And so we got to stop treating those things like they're criminals.
Right.
Even though sometimes it turns into criminal acts,
Right.
we've got to catch them before that happens.
Good. We got another one, Angel. We got another one. All right.
This one comes from Facebook. It's Miss Mary Louise Hall.
All right.
What are your thoughts on a gun drive and giving some kind of incentives to get these guns off the streets? Will that be something you would consider if elected?
If they selling them, because I'm buying me a new gun, I'm getting me a Glock.
Don't
9.
do it. Don't do
I'm
it.
I'm getting class this week
Don't
for
do
my
it.
gun. I'm packing heavy.
Don't do
I'm
it.
going to class on Saturday.
So that is certainly something that I've participated in before. We did it at Living Faith Christian Center, where we had the people to just come in and we gave them gift cards it was with the police department. At that time, it was a Brave unit that was set up, and I would enact something
They
like
liking that.
I would enact something like Brave, right? Where I think they went wrong with Brave is you can't have Brave be the same unit that you have doing drug busts. You just can't. They have to be separate. They have to be the people who are out there in the community working with the people.
Because you can't be
And
my
you
friend
can't-
on Monday and arrest me
kick
on
the dough.
Friday.
Right.
You kick my dough in on Saturday night.
There's no, again, there we go back to the trust. So absolutely, I participated in that at Living Faith Christian Center and some other churches. I can't recall the others.
Shiloh.
But we did it where there was no questions asked, right? And you bring your gun in and you get a gift card and you just leave. Now, I also think that we need to implement the courts that I did, and they say they'll never do it again. But I think that this is important when we bring the courts. I brought the courts to Eden Park, right, to the community center,
That's
and
right.
we cleared warrants. We literally blocked up the entire community.
And all of Gus Young Avenue.
And the entire community.
That's right.
But what was important about that was people were running from their warrants, right? And the things that they knew that they had to meet in court. But we cleared those, and we had an arrest-free day. Same as the thing with the guns. An arrest-free day where people can come and take care of their business. A lot of people want to pay the money, but certain judges, if you go down there and you walk in the door, you might just get arrested for showing up to clear up the warrant, depending on whether or not they had a bad day or whatever. So I would like to enact those types of programs along with the courts, the mayor's office working with the courts to make sure that our community is safe.
That's right.
That we bring in the guns. Maybe we do the gun and court day. Bring it all in. Let's take it all. Let's get it all straight. Let's get the warrants off of our
And can you get the red light traffic tickets waived for people?
No,
I'm
ma'am.
just saying.
No, ma'am.
I'm with that because sometimes it's not even you. It might be your daughter driving your car. And the next thing you know, you got a red light ticket, a whole bunch of
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. I'm not a fan of the red light tickets.
Can you just take them down?
And because that's something that has to be enacted by the Metro Council.
Yeah,
but let me
okay.
say this. Because a lot of them malfunction.
They do.
You see them all the time. They
Sherwood
flashing
at
and
Florida.
nobody's going through them, right?
Corsair,
So I
Sherwood.
would tell the citizens to go down and appeal those tickets. Go before the system and appeal those tickets until you can get a Metro Council in place that will take those lights down.
Right.
And that's how you go about that. The mayor doesn't take the lights down.
They don't take the lights
No,
down.
they don't.
Okay. All right then. Well, it looks like I got to keep
Now they
paying
do
for
the
these
contract, so
tickets. Okay. Now speaking of contracts, let me ask you this: there is a month-to-month union contract with the police. If elected, what is your thoughts on that? What are you gonna do with that? We're gonna continue to go month-to-month with the police union, or what?
no, I believe that we've got to sit at the table and come up with a concrete solution to, and you know, compromise is when everybody sits at the table and nobody leaves exactly happy, but everybody
yeah,
gets
that's good compromise.
something, right?
I do that at
So-
home every night.
Oh my God.
Called marriage.
So you got to compromise with the union, and what I always support unions, but with the police union, I think what has to happen is the police has to come to the table with the reality that yes, you got to protect the police's rights. I understand that wholeheartedly, but what we don't want is when we know that we got a bad apple. And somebody has said that this is going to cost us millions of dollars later, right? If we don't get rid of them. We don't want the union stepping in to block that person being removed. And on a whole nother note,
All right.
I think there needs to be a register when that happens, because when we get rid of police officers here and then they go over to the next parish, Livingston or Ascension, and they take the bad behavior over there, there needs to be a register in place so that these police that are not a small fragment of the force won't be able to go and cause somebody else havoc.
Last question, and we're going to give some TVs away and some tablets. The last question, I'm going to give you a minute to wrap it up. Last question, 311. 311 is is the bane of my seniors' existence. They always calling us about they have a number, but they don't know what to do with the case number. They don't know when they're coming. They don't know if they're coming. If elected, what would your plan be to improve the current 311 system as it relates to constituent services? And then after answering that question, go on and wrap it up, and let's give away some TVs. Y'all call into the Lotus Zone 663-2271.
As a former council member, 311 was a nightmare for me.
Right.
And many of my constituents, it didn't work properly, and some of that is education on the part of the public. And so you got to educate the public on how to utilize it, what to do. And that list can't exist forever.
Right.
And that's a problem because there's a backlog. So if I'm elected as mayor, I'll make sure that there's not this months and months of backlog on a 311 call. We can't have that. If we have a city that's going to be progressive,
Right.
People who are paying their taxes,
And you said
they
the seniors
deserve.
get priority on the 311?
I said that every
Just checking.
this girl is shooting it hard for me
Just
today.
checking. Just checking. Just checking.
But
to see
but
who
on
go
a
first.
serious note, I
Right.
think that we have to have conversations with our seniors, and we have many workshops, but they have to know the process,
How to use
of
it.
how to use it,
Right.
who to call when it doesn't work,
Right.
who is their council person. Please tell your seniors that I am not a council person anymore.
Y'all called Denise.
So
Keep
they're calling
her.
me. I got a call the other day about a dead dog in front of one of your seniors' houses. Okay.
What?
Not only was it not in my district, it was never in my council
Is that
district.
a 311 call, a dead dog?
They called the 311 number and they told them that they needed to call animal control. Well, animal control will pick up live animals.
Who picks up the dead animals?
And guess what ended up happening? They
What?
called back to tell me the whole story of everybody who they talked to, what happened and what didn't happen.
Who picks up the dead animals?
Well,
you?
no, ma'am.
No, I mean you. The constituent picks up the dead
What
animal.
ended up happening is someone came out to assist them because that's a unique situation. They came out to put the dog in the trash can.
A
right?
volunteer.
Well, it wasn't exactly a volunteer.
Oh, Lord.
But I don't want to
Yeah.
put them on the spot, because if I say that, then everybody gonna be calling for dead dogs, right?
Right.
So they came out, put the dead dog in the trash bin, because
Lord
the
have
trash
mercy.
day was the next day, right? And so it just was the
That's some
timing.
stinky trash right there.
And well, no other way to get it from in front of the lady's house. And the lady was calling me.
Oh,
She's
Lord.
one of your seniors.
I bet you.
And I bet you gave her my number.
I didn't know about the dead dog. I didn't. I do give out your number, 937
933
4217. 4217. All right, that's the cell number. You just got Denise Marcel's cell number. She did it herself.
Everybody has it.
Everybody has it. All right, wrap it up. We enjoyed talking to you today. Let us know. Give us your final statements, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. We're going to give away some TVs and some tablets to these seniors today.
First of all, thank you guys for. It's been a
fun.
very fun afternoon, and I always
I'm super
support
fun
the
today
council
because
of this.
Dr. Green.
I know you got
I went
a
to
little
see Dr.
shot.
Green and I got a shot and I'm floating high, y'all. But go ahead, Dr. Craig Green, y'all go see him.
I want the
Woo.
I want the
floating-
seniors to
floating so
know,
good.
and whoever else is watching, that always have your best interests at heart. I will work hard, as I've worked hard in my city council seat, as I've worked hard in my state representative seat. I will work hard as your mayor president of East Baton Rouge Parish. And, you know, we got to learn how to love each other, live together.
That's right.
And have a safe place in which to do so. I pledge to you today, if you vote for me for your next mayor president, I will make sure that happens. I'm number 90 on your ballot. I'm C. Denise Marcel.
And you gonna make gumbo too?
And I'll make you some gumbo.
She make everybody gumbo. All right, let's open up the Lotus lines. 225-663-2271. 225-663-2271.
Caller number 4.
Oh, Denise wants to do caller number 4.
Caller number 4.
Caller number 4, 225-663-2271. And this time I'm going to be quiet because yesterday I gave away 2 TVs at the same time. 225-663-2271. Caller number 4. And Miss Barbara Berry, you can't call because you won already. Here we go. Good afternoon. Welcome to this Lotus line. Cut your TV down, cut your radio down so we can hear you. No feedback. Welcome to the Lotus zone. Who am I speaking with?
I don't know what caller I am.
You caller number 4?
Hello.
Hey, you on the radio. You caller number 4?
Hello.
Hello, you caller number 4?
I'm calling number 4.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
What's your
What's your
name?
Eula Franklin.
Hey, Miss Franklin. Hey, girl. You're the one on TV, girl.
Leo Butler Center.
Leo Butler Center in his house.
In his house. Okay, you talking to state
And
representative.
my TV is too loud.
Your TV too loud, it is, but that's okay. You talking to Rep Marcel. You want to say something?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, Jesus. You wanna-
Congratulations, you won the first television
Yes.
that we're giving away today.
You want
Eula Franklin.
Miss Franklin, you want to say something?
Hi.
Hey, Miss Franklin. Miss
Finally
Franklin.
made it.
You finally made it. You watching me on the repeat. You want to say something to
How about that?
Rep Marcel? You want to say something? Congratulations. All right. We got you down. All right, Miss Franklin.
So are you giving your TV back, Miss Franklin?
No, she got it.
She's
gone.
saying, she's saying congrats. Oh, you saying
I'm saying
congratulations to her.
congratulations. All right.
I was thinking. I
All
didn't
right,
know.
let's get the next one. Tablet and a TV. Tablet and a TV. Next one. Let's go. Next caller. Let's do caller number 2. Caller number 2. They calling too because I heard them beeping in my ear. Here we go. We on the radio. Cut your radio down. Cut your TV down. Cut your radio, TV down. Cut your tablet, phone down. All right. Lotus zone. Hello. Who am I speaking with? These things.
Evelyn Edwards.
Hey, Miss Edwards. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Fine.
Great.
Did I win?
Yes, you
Yes,
did.
ma'am.
Yes, you did.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. What center are you calling from?
I'm from Charles Kelly.
Charles Kelly. Charles
Yeah.
Kelly. Okay, you speaking with Representative C. Denise Marcel, mayoral candidate. Would you like to say something?
Well, it's my pleasure speaking with you. I wish you well.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much. You won a TV and a tablet for Technology Tuesday, and we're so glad that you called in today.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
I am blessed.
You are blessed. Yes, ma'am. God bless you.
Bless you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. One more caller. One more caller. One more caller. Next caller. You're getting that Fire HD 10-inch TV, 43-inch flat screen smart TV that you can hook your tablet to the TV and you can see me. And I'm going to get this last caller. You're going to get a Lotus Zone radio T-shirt, and I'm going to sign it because I'm a senior superstar. Who am I speaking with? Trudy, give me the next caller.
Caller number 1.
Caller number 1. Who am I speaking with? Lotus Zone.
Hello?
Hello, who am I speaking with? This better be somebody from...
Thelma Joseph.
Who?
Thelma Joseph.
Hey, Miss
Hey, Miss
Joseph. Miss Joseph.
Hi, how you doing?
Fine. What center you
You
go?
remember me?
No, what center you go to? What center you go
Did I
to?
win anything?
Yeah, you won. You won a TV, a
And
tablet,
a tablet.
and a T-shirt. What senior center do you attend?
I didn't understand you. What?
Which senior
I heard
center?
TV,
Which senior center do you attend, ma'am?
TV and a tablet and a shirt. That'll work.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
She behind. Okay. What senior center do you attend?
Oh, Florida Boulevard.
All
Oh,
right.
yay!
All right, you talking to
Yeah.
yeah.
The Albina lady.
Oh, I got you. I remember you.
Yeah,
now.
I knew you remember
What
me.
she say?
Yes, that's me.
I got you. Well, you talking to our vice chair and mayoral candidate C. Denise Marcel. You want to say something?
I enjoyed the conversation. I was listening.
You listening? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good.
Congratulations.
You're well.
Congratulations. Thank you
Congratulations.
so much. You can come. Y'all come pick up your prizes tomorrow from 2 to 4
Okay.
at the new building, 1701
Yes,
Main
ma'am.
Street. All right.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
You're
yes,
welcome.
yes. Okay, I got a quick announcement before we go to our first break. We are doing early voting transportation and rides to the polls starting on Friday. So if you have a break in all of your election stuff, come on and ride with the seniors. We riding. We rolling to the polling. We rolling because my seniors said they want to take their ballots and turn them in. They-
Yeah, and let me add something to that since you mentioned it. I want to tell all the seniors, if you have a mail-in ballot, there's a place on there for a witness. If you do not sign that, they've been calling the seniors downtown. I want to tell you that. And they've been wrapping around the building, still having to go in person to get a witness. Please, ma'am, please, sir, let somebody look at your ballot and make sure you have a witness on there so that this won't happen to you. And make sure you feel that, and make sure you have signed it. Yes.
Say that again. Say it again.
So on yesterday, I started getting influx with calls about seniors being called down to the voter registrations office because they had not either signed it with their own signature or they had not had a witness signature on it, and they were being called down there, and there was a line. There was a line, and the seniors, many of them who are handicapped, it's another trick of the enemy. So please, ma'am, please, sir, make sure if you have a mail-in ballot,
just fill it out and ride with us. We rolling to the poll Friday and all the following week, and you can you
contact the Council on Aging. They'll help you out.
We're gonna take you. We're gonna take you. We're gonna take you. We social distancing. We wearing our masks. We separating seats, and all our buses will be on the street next week. Now we're going to break. We'll be right back with Council District 1, Eric Lewis. He's running the Council District 1. And I think that's up in the Zachary area, and we're gonna see what he has to say because nobody running against him will come. So now that'll let us know what we're working with. Council District 1, Mr. Eric Lewis. He'll be on in the next break. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
See,
you.
Denise Marcel,
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for dropping the bag. That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. Always taking care of the seniors. We love you. Good luck to you. We wish you very well.
Thank you so much, Ms.
please
Amar.
Go get you some rest.
Thank you.
All right.
Council on Aging, serving seniors. Council on Aging, serving seniors.
welcome back. One quick announcement before we move to our next candidate. Tomorrow is Lotus Zone Bingo, Radio Bingo, Facebook Bingo, on the YouTube Bingo. We playing bingo tomorrow, and we still got great prizes, activity. We got gift cards. Trudy got an old man. What? I don't know what you're saying. We got a lot of stuff for bingo tomorrow. Call in. It's at tomorrow. We got on bingo on the white card tomorrow. Not on the green. We're playing on the white tomorrow. And guess what? I'm not doing it. Shan is on the mic tomorrow. Shan and Charlotte will be doing bingo tomorrow. So it won't be as fun, but you'll still win. Shan, we're doing bingo tomorrow with Shan. Bingo tomorrow with Shan. So y'all tune in tomorrow at the same time at 4 o'clock. Bingo at 4 o'clock. Tune in and get ready to win. Get ready to win. Don't forget, look, they clicking. They loving that like. Don't forget, get ready. If you need your rides to the poll, I don't have a ride number in front of me. Yes, I do. You need your ride to the poll, call the Lotus Zone. It's look, not the Lotus Zone. Call 923-8000 to the main line. They'll transfer you to the Lotus ride line. They will transfer you 923-8000 so you can get on the bus. I'm riding the bus. Councilman, soon to be
can I ride
Eric,
the bus?
you can
I wanna
ride
ride
the
the
bus. No, you can't ride the bus. You run it. You get me in trouble. You can't ride the bus. What you can do is come meet us at the bus in Zachary when the Zachary Senior Center go, and you can wave at us
Okay,
by.
I can do that.
You can wave
'Cause
and
I'm
tell
going
us
Friday.
by. You going
I'm
Friday?
going Friday.
Us too. We taking truck loads. We taking bus loads. We riding the bus like back in the day when they was boycotting on the bus. We riding on the poles. All right. So listen, we got Councilman Eric, soon to be Councilman, soon to be Eric Lewis. He's running for councilman in District 1. He's running for councilman in District 1, and he is here to tell us all about himself and why he should be your choice. He is, I can say that we have invited every candidate in District 1, and he chose to come. That speaks volumes to me. And with that being said, we're going to give him 2 minutes to tell us all about himself, and then we'll get into some questions.
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
excited to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you
you
guys
for
for putting this on. My name is Eric B. Lewis. I am, as you mentioned, a candidate for Metro Council District 1.
Right.
I currently reside in Zachary. I'm originally from the Glen Oaks area.
He from the GO.
That's right. There you go. All right. So
Put that down.
after graduating in electrical engineering from Southern, I relocated to Dallas, Texas. Worked for Texas Instruments as an electrical engineer.
Okay.
Lived there about 4 years and then moved back to Louisiana. Took a job in Alexandria, stayed there for a couple years, and then eventually moved back to Baton Rouge. The one of the big reasons why I'm running is because, a few weeks ago we actually relocated my oldest daughter out of the state as well, and so just tired of seeing that cycle of our young people leaving our community for opportunities elsewhere. Specifically within our campaign, our platform centers around collaborating with other council members to resolve issues around youth development, educational attainment, economic development, public safety, and infrastructure. And so those are issues that we feel like,
Like
obviously
that educational attainment.
impact District 1, but issues that, all of us throughout the parish can relate to.
All right. Okay. Well, welcome to the Lotus Zone. If you don't know, we're on a multitude of platforms, and our seniors on Facebook. We teaching them technology, and so people think we're just on the radio giving away stuff, and we're on the radio. But we won a big grant from National Meals on Wheels of America to be able to provide technology, put it in the hands of the seniors during this pandemic. So we're providing them with resources like these tablets and TVs, so that in case this ever happens again, they don't lose connectivity to us.
Cool.
All right. So first question is a simple question. What are your top 3 priorities, if elected, for seniors in this parish?
Infrastructure, public safety, and
Infrastructure. Now listen, I heard you an electrical engineer. We'll turn it down a little bit, Trudy. Go on and break that down. Water that down. You talking about the streets?
So we're talking about the roadways, the bridges. Biggest issue that has been a concern, particularly in District 1, has been drainage around not cleaning out ditches, canals, bayous, waterways. And so I myself, my family was impacted by the 2016 flood. And so I know a lot of folks still get a lot of anxiety whenever we see a light rain coming in Baton Rouge.
Right. Okay, great. So the first question is Baker, Central, and Zachary and Cheneyville are the most rural areas of the parish and often neglected with development. What are your plans for economic residential development in this district?
So I think the biggest thing that we have to strike on first is, again, that collaboration piece. So I think part of the challenge that we have is kind of the disconnect going on between those municipalities and the parish as a whole. And so I want to serve as a catalyst and someone to kind of help bring the leaders of the different municipalities together, because I think two of the biggest issues that we tend to have is this thought process that leaders in Zachary feel like the rest of the parish is not necessarily concerned about them. And then there's also this thought process that folks in Baton Rouge feel like Zachary is this elite, wealthy, rich community.
Well, aren't they?
Well, that's
I
the
mean, it's
thing.
a question.
But that's the thing. So
Are
I
they
think,
not Are they not higher on the echelon tier than some others?
but I would say that there's a lot of the same challenges going on in Zachary that's going on in the rest of the parish.
More money, more problem challenges? Or?
No. We got poverty issues.
Poverty issues.
We got people that are disconnected from the community, just
Sure.
like in the rest of the parish. And so I think that's the first thing we need to do
Breaking
is
the
understand
stigma.
that we one parish.
Right. And so when you say connect municipalities, so what you're saying to the seniors are you want to connect the two cities together.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And
Yes,
the two councils and the two boards and all of that together.
Yeah, so I think, the two biggest things that I've heard frequently is this idea that Breck, as example, I know y'all heard
Right.
a lot about that in the news recently.
Right.
And so resources for Breck. And I think that's a miscommunication on both sides.
Okay.
But then also when you talk about development, there's a lack of communication when it comes to planning and zoning. And so when we talk about building new communities or building communities for seniors, I think everybody needs to be at the table. But I do agree that that's a huge opportunity in the northern part of the parish.
Sure. Okay. And in that same vein, Miss Albertha Payne lives in that area between Baker and Zachary. And her question is, what are your plans to improve housing for seniors, to make it safer for seniors and comfortable where they live, and, improve the housing stock in
And
that
so
area?
that goes,
Affordable housing.
so that goes back to your original question. So there's a vast amount of unincorporated area. I think we need to be able to work and collaborate with developers who are buying some of this land up, and to ensure that we are considering seniors in this process.
And how will you connect the two cities between Baker and Zachary together as it relates to the unincorporated area?
So
'Cause
one of
isn't there an issue?
Yeah, so one of the
there?
things that I plan to do is having monthly meetings with the District 1 Advisory Council team.
So
and
you
we'll
created one?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So, and we'll rotate those through the various coordinates within the district, and so that is one of the ways that we get folks more engaged and connected with what's going on at the parish.
So the
level.
various quadrants, you mean the various areas?
Cheneyville.
Come on now, you talking to my seniors? Got to come on. You got to
Look,
bring water that
some
down.
Some of these people, my mentors now.
Yeah, some of them got it. We got a plethora of folks on here. Okay, so the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging currently has a dedicated millage tax that is utilized to provide much needed services to seniors across the parish. What is your stance on that tax? Do you support it? And if elected, would you repeal it or continue to
There
support
is
it?
no in the way in the world I would repeal.
Nobody wouldn't say it on
walked
this
up
show
on this-
anyway.
I walked up on this property, and that's the fence they was acting a fool over.
That's it. Isn't
Ain't
that
no
a
way.
nice fence?
Yes.
What do you think of? And can you explain to us what the fence does?
Can I explain?
You're an engineer.
It keep the difficult. It keep out what we don't want inside of here.
Thank you. Thank you. And they had a problem with it. Do you know they actually want to take that to a vote?
I followed the whole
But
story.
it just some of it you just have to let it roll off. And my mama said let it roll off your water like your back, like water off a duck's back. All right, next question. We got something from the Facebook internet. Okay, so they listening. They coming. They
But
catching
I'm
up.
waiting on somebody from the Charles
District
R.
1.
Kelly Center.
Charles R. Kelly. Mr. Lewis wants to
It's a
speak to
certain
some of y'all.
person.
You're waiting on a certain one from Charles R. Kelly to tune in and ask your questions. Okay, Miss Rose Doolittle, she goes to Baker. She says, what can and will you do to help improve equitable employment, public transportation out in the rural area? Because it's my understanding, well, I know that Zachary does not have access to the transportation. Am I making you nervous?
No, you
To
nervous.
and they want, and the seniors want to get on the bus.
So, Yeah, so I mean, I watched and I observed as this last tax election for Katz and Zachary decided, as a whole not to participate.
Right. They
But I
voted
think-
against ours too, but this too shall pass. Go ahead.
So I do think for us as a city, as a parish, to be progressive and to be competitive with other communities that
Sure.
we try to compete against, both for our seniors and our young people, like we need a reliable transit system that
Right.
traverses this entire parish.
Right.
And so I want to push that. I think that not to criticize what happened in the past,
Sure.
but I'm thinking that there's a possibility that we can have more conversation and help folks understand how it benefits our community.
Well, and I can say this: if elected, if you come in with this new group, the council may have a different look, and you'll be that added piece,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
That
Say
that
it. Just-
Yeah, okay, I'm going to it. You'll be that added piece that has the council, the makeup going from a different number from 5 to 8, to 6 to 7.
Yes, ma'am.
So my question to you is: there still will be that divide. What would you bring to the table to bridge that racial divide and that gap that is a constant barrier
Yeah.
for getting anything that's rational passed?
So I think from
Because
my
you seem
perspective,
very level-headed to
yeah.
me.
So I think from my perspective, the way that I look at it is I do business. My kids live or shop. We eat, shop all over this parish. So every
Right.
single district in this parish is important to me, and I think for a lot of folks that's the case. But I don't think that we've looked at it in that manner. And so that's the approach that I tend to take. Is even though I may live in District 1, my office is in District 2. I ran a school in District 2. My kids have an apartment in District 10. We have to shop in 11, 12, and whatever else district and eat.
Right.
And so I think that's the approach that we have to take. And so, I have 5 issues on my platform that, again, matter to all of us. And so I think we have to start looking at common ground and what's good for all of us. If something is going on in District 5, it impacts the entire parish, and so that should be a concern of mine. And I
Right.
shouldn't be sitting up at the day house just looking crazy.
That's right. That's right. So what would your approach be?
Yeah, so I think, over my career professionally and in the community, I've been able to work with people across party lines, across racial boundaries. And so I feel like I'm an approachable person. I feel like I can be a potential leader in working with the other 11 council members and the administration.
Right.
And so just working with people from a common vantage point. I mean, at the end of the day, party, racial things, that's something historic for Baton Rouge. But I
Right.
think we're at a point where we have got to start moving beyond that and looking for the common good in all of our
Yeah.
people.
I think I can agree. I think we're at the precipice. I think we're at a point in this city where we're going to do one or two things. We're going to go forward and we're going to move into recreating the dynamics of what this city has been as it relates to racial inequities, or we're going to go back to
So and so to that point, I think what people tend to not understand is a lot of what we saw bubbling up over the spring and the
Right.
summer is young people getting tired of us doing the stuff the way we've been doing it.
Right. That's right. All protest stems from the youth, doesn't it? Okay, so next question. This is Cheneyville Pride area, and which is also your area. She says, Mrs. Claudia Fisher. She goes to the Cheneyville Community Center, Council on Aging. She says she lives in Council District 1 and would like for the council to know that Cheneyville and Pride are still a part of East Baton Rouge Parish. What are your plans? What would your plans be for making sure these rural areas of the parish do not continue to go underserved? She feels like they go underserved.
So I would do what I've been doing as I've been campaigning. I've spent a lot of time in Cheneyville and Pride, working with folks. I've done a couple of events at a few different churches out there. When I talk about the draining, that's where the first input came from folks that live out in Cheneyville.
Right.
And you can see the grass not being cut and things like that. I think you brought up earlier about the 311 system.
What do you think about
Actually, so
Jump in on that.
It's overloaded. So that it's ridiculous that we continue to have a huge backlog. And that was one of the issues that the lady had. Like, she had called like 3 or 4 times to get somebody to cut the grass next door to her house. And we just, so she has seen the frustration. And so I think that, one of the things that I want to do is ensure that my office and all councilmen have a person assigned for community outreach to be able to catalog and track those type of issues and work in partnership with DPW to make sure we get issues resolved.
And is the system too encumbersome? Is it too difficult to navigate? Because when you have a system that nobody can navigate, you have to take a tutorial on how to call and get a problem resolved. That's a problem.
Well, and then so if we look at
That's
it,
like learning to use the iPad.
and so if we done surveys with our citizens, to get that feedback to make improvements upon it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the case, then we need to look at making improvements so it meets the needs of our citizens.
We have a call. All right.
right.
We got a call. Then she dropped the call. Okay. Call back 225-663-2271. Call back 225-663-2271. All right. Call back on Lotus Zone. Oh, there it is. Let's have it. Cut your radio down. Cut your TV down. Please cut your phone down. All right. Welcome to the Lotus Zone. This is the Lotus Zone. Who we're speaking with?
Hello?
Yes. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, this is Ruby Drummond.
Hey, Miss Drummond. How are you, darling?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. You got a question?
Good. Yes, I didn't get a chance to get right up, but I had a question for him. I live in the Chainville, Pride and Baywood area.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is in District 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and I want to know if he's elected, what was he going to do about the canals out in this area? Because I've been having a problem with the one out by my house. I've been trying to get it cleaned out and cut properly for over 5 years, and I haven't gotten it done yet.
Oh, my word. Miss Drummond, look, I'm going to give you a tablet because you've been waiting for 5 years. I'm going to give you something to do while you wait for another year to wait on them. I'm going to give you a tablet.
Ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. I'm going to let him answer. But Miss Drummond, I don't know if you have a tablet, but I'm giving you one. You've been waiting for 5 years. You got the patience of Job. Okay, let him answer.
So, that's
all right. Put her
Ms.
down,
Drummond, I
Ms.
appreciate
Drummond.
you calling, and that's a prime example of what I'm talking about. Right. I don't know if it's understaffed, and so once we get in, we got to figure out what's going on. But this has to be a priority.
That's ridiculous.
We had a major flood 4 years ago, and here we are 4 years later, and people still having panic attacks. But that's the reality. I believe in climate change, but if we can't clean up the ditches and cut the grass and things like that, we're gonna keep having floods.
Right.
So that has to be our top priority to get this done.
So then, what do you think is the problem? What is the problem with this? What is it? Is it scheduling? Is it resources? Is it trash dumping? Is it lack of constituent engagement? What do you think the problems are?
So when we're talking about canals, that's on the government. Now there are ditches that run in front of people's houses in the rural areas. We have to be clear of whose responsibility it is. So in my yard, I cut the ditch in front of my yard, and I might have some neighbors that may not. So that's part of it. But a canal,
you don't go next door and cut your neighbor ditch?
A canal is clearly the government's responsibility.
Right.
And so again, it's a question of whether or not we don't have enough resources, we don't have enough people, whether or not we prioritize the funding in other areas.
Sure.
But I just feel like that has to be a priority when we've had a record number of hurricane warnings out this year.
And not in floods.
Yes.
Mr. Scholar was every time it rains, it floods, right?
Yeah, we had a flood earlier this year.
Right. And so Ms. Drummond been waiting for 5 years. I don't normally give out my seniors information, but I'm gonna give you her number.
I can take it by her house.
So you could take. No, you can't go to her house, but I'm gonna give you her phone number so you could call and help her get some help with getting that dish need to be cleaned tomorrow. Because she got the patience of Job, and we need to get her some assistance. And look, Ms. Drummond, call the office tomorrow, too. I'm going to put you in contact with Mr. Lewis and somebody in my office, and we're going to call the city parish tomorrow seriously and see if we can expedite. If I had to, I'll call Mayor Broom directly. And let's see if we can expedite your 5-year wait on that canal, because I know if it was me, I wouldn't have slept in 5 years. All right? Okay. Any more? We got something else, Trudy? Or you texting over there? All right. Next question for Mr. Lewis. All right. Next question. So did we talk about senior housing stock? Did we talk about that? All right. We did that.
Said I was gonna work with developers.
You're gonna work with developers. You're gonna identify some of them, and you're gonna work with CATS to get us some public transportation.
Yes,
now, what are your thoughts with crime in the whole in the parish as a whole, and then as it pertains to your district?
So it's it's obviously not where we want it to be.
Well,
and
of
it's
course
like,
not.
like that. There's no judgment. I
I mean,
we have to figure out a
we at
way
the bottom
to get
of the
it under
bottom.
wraps. But this again goes to my point earlier.
Right.
You know, we've had people get shot.
Except for
in
Baker.
District 1.
They like ranked like 5th best neighborhood in the country or something.
But then I just heard earlier somebody got shot this week.
They got shot, but no, they was just shooting.
But that's not okay.
That's not okay.
Like,
But
and
they
so it's just this whole mindset.
right, but they still just like 5th in the neighborhoods across the country. I mean, they got some kind of ranking. Anyway.
You drive through there, somebody pops up in your car. That's a
Right.
problem.
Yeah, because I'm getting my concealed carry license on Saturday.
See.
But that's another subject. So listen, what are your thoughts? How do we improve it collectively? How do we improve the police's relationships with this
Yeah.
constituency that pays them? I think oftentimes they forget that even though the mayor's office and the city council is oversees a budget, that budget stems from the heart of our pockets. And so how do we?
And so I think this again is a community-wide type initiative. So beyond districts, like this is everybody's concern. Everybody's
most definitely.
So again, whether you live in District 1 or you live in the city of Baton Rouge, crime is an issue. And so I think it takes not only the sheriff, the police department, and the smaller municipal police departments, and the administration, the council. It takes us as community members as well.
So in your position, you'll have to work with BRPD and Zachary PD, right?
Yes, ma'am.
God
And the
help
sheriff's
you.
office.
And the sheriff's office.
And so
you got the trifecta.
But so this is the thing. So we talk about community policing, which I think is like going to be very, very critical. But we have to, as a community, define what we mean by community policing.
And don't we have it already?
Clearly, we don't.
I mean, I think we have it. I see some people have it on their shirts. I mean, they have it, but
So some people define community policing as the police getting out of their cars and walking the beat. Baton Rouge is not necessarily New York, and so when you talk about the rural areas and stuff like that's just not applicable. Some
Okay.
people define it as community policemen living in a neighborhood that they police.
oh well, we don't have that.
Okay,
Okay,
and so
they all live in Central Zachary.
I think it's also
Prairieville.
important, in addition to those definitions,
Just
I think
kidding.
it's important for us to have programming in place for the police to be able to develop relationships and build relationships with the community. Someone mentioned the police athletic league that used to be in effect, and bringing things like that back.
You like that?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
When I ran our school, we felt like we did not want police as security guards in our school because of the relationship that the kids that we were serving probably already had with police. But if you look at Central and Zachary, the resource officers that they have, like they coach their basketball teams and they have relationships with them, and so I think those are types of things that we need to look at
Yeah, but
across the parish.
The Central and Zachary kids are not the kids in the
Don't you?
heart
Let me tell you.
of the
Let me tell you
parish,
something.
right?
Let me tell you something.
Are they? I just
Kids are
question.
kids. Kids are
Kids are
kids.
kids.
Kids are kids. I
But-
promise you that.
Okay. Well, we gonna well,
You
I don't do.
You leave them without
I'm
structure.
gonna leave the kids alone because that's not my forte. But I can say to you that the seniors, we do actually, honestly, we do it. We do several activities. We do normally a couple of activities annually with the community policing department. We do bingo with the badge, and it's a great turnout
That was
for
awesome
the
thing.
seniors. And we do prom. The police are very intricate in our senior prom. Actually, they are the escorts, and they dance with the seniors. And because what the seniors are looking for may be something that is different from the children.
Well, I
Because
don't
they
think
looking
so.
they want to be safe. They
But- and
want to
that's what-
sit
see,
on the porch
But see, I
and
think
not
with
be
our
shot.
children, and I don't want that to happen to anybody, parents.
Right, right.
And so I think with the children, we got two dynamics. So
Mm-hmm.
I think children want to have relationships with any adults, but then they have these outside forces that have portrayed police, or the way they may experience police in their own lives.
Right.
And so that's what we have to work.
And the
through as a
rapping don't
community.
help none.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. Oh, that's the outside forces. Okay, yeah, because some of that rapping is foul. Even when it was in our era, because I don't know how
Don't
old
mess
you
with
are.
Tupac now. Don't mess with Tupac.
It was an Ice Cube. Which one was F the Police? That
was Ice
one.
Cube.
Ice Cube, yeah. All right, Lotus Zone. Got a call on Lotus Zone. Let's go. All right.
When it was in our era, because I don't know.
All right, turn your radio down. Turn your radio down. Let's have it. Who am I speaking with?
police. That Hello.
Hello,
All
who
right.
am I speaking
So,
with? Turn your radio TV down. Who am I speaking with?
All right, turn your radio down. Turn your radio
Okay.
down. Let's have it.
baby.
Who am I speaking with?
Norma Lewis.
Hi, Miss Lewis. How you doing, Miss
Hello,
Lewis?
who am I speaking?
Uh-oh.
I got you. How you doing, Miss Lewis?
Okay, doing fine.
All right. What center do you go to, Miss Lewis?
Okay. To Jewel Newman Community Center.
Jewel J. Newman. You have a question? Let me hear you.
Yes, I was wondering what will be done about all of the houses that have been abandoned.
Good question. Good question. We're going to let him answer what he's going to do with these abandoned houses. Thank you, Miss Lewis.
I was wondering what will be done about all of the...
All right, true.
Okay. So that again is, people might not realize this, but that's going on in District 1 too. So
Yeah.
I think we have to, the Build Baton Rouge organization or working with an organization similar to that or others to put them back in commerce. Obviously, we know that they create, problems. They bring in things into the neighborhood. They create space for things that we don't want happening around our seniors or within our neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to figure out as a city, as a Metro Council. I don't think it's necessary to be grazing them and have nothing but green space.
Sure.
That again is not going to be maintained.
Right.
And so we have to figure out a way to work with organizations within our community.
Put them back in
to
commerce.
Put them back in commerce, either for residential housing
Right.
or for for businesses within the communities.
Right, right. Great point. Great point. Well, I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes, and you can wrap up and tell us anything you want to do, you want to say, and we're gonna make some announcements, and I'm gonna go home and go to bed
Look at
early.
you.
I'm telling you.
So I want to again thank you guys for putting this on.
Right.
It's very important that we have an opportunity to talk to those that will be voting for us in the next
Sure.
few days. I have a great deal of respect for the seniors.
Thank you.
I am so grateful and appreciative to God that He's allowed my parents, who I think are listening right now,
Thank
to
God.
to transition into this
That's right.
population. And then I also have a number of mentors and
Sure.
friends of my parents that participate in the program and for the Council on
All
Aging.
right.
So I definitely appreciate you guys putting this on. Encourage folks to go out and vote. I look forward to leading and helping to create a community where our seniors can feel safe, they can feel nourished, treasured as the jewels that they are for our community.
All right.
My name is Eric B. Lewis. I am number 97 on the ballot, running for Metro Council District 1. Please make sure you all go vote and look for me out there waving at y'all.
And let us just thank you for taking the time out of your day or your schedule from campaigning to come and talk to the seniors, because one thing we know, it takes a lot to in these days and time to offer yourself up for public service. It takes a lot of scrutiny, and so we appreciate the fact that you did that. We appreciate the fact that you came to talk to the seniors. We appreciate the fact that you're smart enough to know that the seniors are the chronic voters in this parish, and you will not win without them. So we appreciate that you know
once
that.
in office, I look forward to partnering with you guys to expand
All right.
services in Metro
Mr.
Council
Eric
District
Lewis, District 1, Zachary. Y'all call him up. You want to leave a number or something?
225-408-9323. It's 225-408-9323.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We're going to go to a quick break. Then, seniors, we're going to have a couple of announcements, and we're going to shut it down for the day. Thank y'all.
Council on Aging, serving seniors. Council on Aging, serving seniors.
are back. We just want to thank all the seniors. We want to thank you all for participating in this candidate series. You all asked for this series, and we wanted to make sure that it's what you want.
Right.
It's up to your standards. If you see some things you want to add or change, call us and let us know. But don't forget, early voting is happening. 225-361-0299 is the Lotus Zone number. You can call. You can get your ride. We will be playing bingo tomorrow with Shan. We'll be playing bingo tomorrow with Shan. Tomorrow we will have TV to give away and some tablets and some TVs. And so we want to thank the candidates that have been coming. But what we want you to do is pay attention. Pay attention to what you hear and what you don't hear, and what you see and what you don't see. Because I can tell you the candidates that you don't see that have not come is not because they have not been invited. And so maybe it's not high priority on their schedules. And that's on them. That will help you determine who you want to pick and who you don't want to pick. But thus far, we want to thank all the candidates that have come and have been engaged. We want to thank, of course, the Honorable Mayor Sharon Western Broom for coming out, State Representative Marcel. We're going to reschedule Senator Barrow. She got stuck in legislative committee today. She's trying to get a bill passed for you all. So she'll be back to do another explanation of the amendments. And I want to thank this great team in here, the staff, the Council on Aging staff, because we work on Saturdays, Sundays to get this done. And they're not getting paid, and they ain't getting no overtime. And I want to thank Trudy and Angel and Tim and Shan and Elliot and the dudes from the Edge who come in here, even though they keep coming in here with this Southern stuff on. We want to thank them too. We want to thank them, but no, seriously, we want to thank everybody. It's been a great couple of weeks, and we have a few more weeks to go. And we just want you to understand, we're going to take you to vote. Don't worry about your ballot. We'll make sure that you can take your ballot, and when we drop you to vote, you can drop the ballot in if you want to do that. Right. You can bring your ballot with you. And listen, there have been some folks talking about fake ballots with misspelled words on it, committed misspell, and it's the Louisiana Legislative Democrat. If it don't have a seal on it from the Democratic Party, if it doesn't have a state seal on it, it's unofficial. And if it's not something or a ballot that you used to getting, seniors, if it's not something that you get on the regular, then put that in the trash. Because anybody could mail you something. I get mail once a week from Albertsons trying to sell me grocery junk mail. Just consider it as junk mail and throw it away. Because what you don't want is anybody telling you who to vote for and how to vote. Right. By now, we listening to this, and you're going to make your determinations off of education, off of what these people platforms are, and if you align with their platform, then that's who you vote for. Amen. But don't use no ballot in the mailbox that you know nothing about. They making up false ballots with false names and false groups. You don't know about them. But a lot of us have seen some ballots for a long, long time, and there's some long-standing organizations in this community that have been sending out ballots. Now, do I agree with all the ballots every time? No. Right. But you got First Ward Voter League. They've been around 70 years. We get the Fields ticket. Senator Cleo Fields sends out a ballot every year prior to being a senator, before, after. You got the ballot from Mr. Ted James has a ballot. Right. Denise has a ballot. Senator Barrow has a ballot. These are upstanding citizens in the community. Those are ballots that you can hang your hat on. Those are ballots from people that have some skin in the game in our community. We just don't take any ballot from anybody because they on the computer or on Facebook and they, we just don't take that from anybody. Anybody, just because you create a ballot. I could create a ballot and send it to your house for the free 99. Anyway, seniors, y'all have a good day. If you like this show today, click like. Let us know you like it. If you appreciate the TVs, if we want to make sure y'all go on State Rep page and thank her for this 5K she dropped on us today for Technology Tuesday. Y'all know what we're going to do with this? More tablets, more TV, all for you. Nothing, all this is for you. So let's thank her. We appreciate her. And we have to say, since I'm talking about her, she got us another $100,000. How much is $100,000 for the intergenerational center that she just delivered to us this week too. You. So she is working on your behalf as your vice chair. Look, that's what I'm talking about. Money talks. The rest of that walks. Y'all have a good day. See
Have
you
a good
tomorrow.
evening.
Have a good evening. Trudy, tell the people about it. Ain't seen you, and you left me
I miss
hanging.
you. I miss you.
She
But we
misses
working
you.
hard. This ain't
She
Mark's
working
doing an
behind the
awesome
scene.
job.
She working behind the scene. She working way behind the scene. But she got on grandma's shoes today.
Oh, my
I already tell her
goodness.
to raise
Have a
her
good
foot.
night,
Have a good
everyone.
evening. Bye.